The Alpough Show, the human spirit experiment with Het-Heru, talking about chakras. The show starts now.
And welcome to Alpough, the Alpough Show on a Wednesday. Alpough Show on a Wednesday. I want to welcome you here tonight. We've got Het-Heru, the lovely Het-Heru, talking about the fifth chakra. So we're going to get into that. This is her fifth Wednesday. We just love having her here. Now, before we start, I need to ask you to do me a favor. I need you to subscribe to my channel, and I need you to click on that bell. You got to click on that bell. You won't be getting any notifications because all they're talking about promoting on YouTube is just the news, and not about inspiration, which is what we always talk about. So tonight we're going to slow down, do a little thinking, as we talk about the fifth chakra, to get you to speed up, get you dancing, get you feeling good, because we're going into Het-Heru's chamber. So we're going to be talking about the fifth chakra, throat chakra. The throat chakra is the inner voice within your mind. The throat chakra is the voice and creative self-expression energy in your life. It is located at the very top of your neck, just below the ears. The throat chakra is about communication and creativity. When you speak from your heart, you are tapping into this energy. When this chakra is out of balance, it can lead to insecurity or a sense that you are not being heard or seen. You may feel like you're choking on words or unable to express yourself in a way that feels true to who you really are. It is important to remember that speaking your truth isn't always easy, and it can take a lot of courage. That's why it's important to work on the opening of your throat chakra. And with that said, we are going to bring in our guest for the day. Always, we want to have her many, many times. I just love this.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're in for a treat. On today's Alpough Show, we have the great guest Het-Heru, who knows all about chakras, yoga, and essential oils. Give her a big hand.
That man's so crazy. I can't believe it.
That's true.
How you doing, Het-Heru? So nice to see you.
I'm wonderful. I am every day in every way. Gets better, better, and better.
Oh, that's so great. So you're in Vegas. What's the weather like up there?
It's warming up. It's supposed to drop again. For us, it's like 50. Okay, so
Right.
not like we're and then it's going to start warming up again. It's not. We're not in a triple digit yet. Not looking forward to that. Don't like that. The only time I don't like Vegas is when it's like that. However, it doesn't last. So, but it's
Right.
good. It's good. It's becoming spring-like.
When does it get hot up there? When I know it gets hot here starting in like May, into May.
Yeah, we're close to you guys. It's you're always a little warmer than we are. So yeah, it was around that time, May.
Oh, okay.
May. So
Tracy says, "Good evening, Miss Het-Heru."
hi, hi, Tracy. I always
So-
appreciate her doing that.
Yeah. So tonight's a special night because we're talking about the throat chakra, and it's my favorite one, and also my now we're talking about hold on. What? We're talking about the fifth chakra, which is the throat for improved communication, and the sacred oil that Het-Heru created, Netter, and this is part of the incredible essential oils that we'll be talking about later. And so, without further ado, let's just get you into this and start talking about the throat chakra, my favorite. I'm really looking forward to it.
And of course, it's your favorite. He's a true Gemini. It's his favorite because Geminis like to communicate. Well, it is. It's the chakra for communication. And, I know, and I've had people say to me through the years, issues that they're having communicating. Someone's in your life or your work or relatives or your loved one, and there's a breakdown in communication. We talk a lot about the time, I'm trying to think, what's it called, when Mercury Retrograde, because Mercury is a planet of communication, meaning things are moving backward. We don't have to be, when Mercury is retrograde, it doesn't mean that we have to be victims to this. It just means that we're understanding what's going on and that we can rise above that. I was thinking, because I always ask my guides, what is it you want me to say? My role is I channel. My guides channel through me to share with you what they feel is important for you to understand or to know. And one of the things that they were saying to me earlier is it behooves you to understand that you are a multi-dimensional being. You're not just somebody born under a certain sign and you're here and you're going to live X amount of years and that's the end of it. And hopefully your life is good. And, for some it's bad or whatever. It helps if you understand that the ancient teachings, and most teachings focus on the idea that we are a spiritual being, as they say, having an earthly experience. This is a big old school. It's a difficult time, but it's always, as many years as I've been, it's always been a difficult time. The only challenge is the communication is greater now. We're getting what's going on in the world out into the world for people to know what's happening. We're hearing it more. We're seeing it more through social thing, on Facebook or just the news on the computer or whatever. If we understand the truth of who and whose we are, it helps us to live through these times. So the importance is to get quiet each day. Cut the chatter for a few minutes and just get quiet and learn to listen and listen to the infinite as it is communicating with you. Now, notice I didn't say he, I didn't put a gender to it. It is the essence of you, of who you really are. As I've said in each show, as in this Aquarian age that we're living, it's about knowing ourselves as an expression of the infinite made definite. We're not following the gurus. That's, we're still seeing some people hung up in that, but the truth of us is the infinite made definite, that we know that we are the infinite, that we are communicating, we're expressing that infinite being within. So instead of seeing ourselves as having to deal with being a victim here, the world is doing this and so is doing that, it's important for us to take back our power. So we empower ourselves. One of the ways we do this is knowing the truth of who we are. We are a spiritual being having an earthly experience. We are expressing through a physical being, through a mental, emotional being, through a mental being of expression of life, and as well as through a spiritual one. So when it comes to communicating, that empowered expression of communicating, it behooves us to be really selective with the words we speak. I hear people just say anything. Oh, when I tell you this, it's something to die for. I could have dropped dead. It cost me an arm or those. You're too powerful to use words like that. I remember years ago, because like I said, I put a lot of time and energy into studying this, not only to enhance my life, but as a teacher, something to share with my students to help empower and enhance their lives. And I remember one teacher that I had, I think it was Helen Bangs, who had mind cybiotics down in Orange County. It was a wonderful, wonderful course that I took back in the 70s. That's how long ago it was. But apparently some tests were done at the college there in LA. And what they did was they worked with truck drivers who were having difficulty with elimination, you know, letting their bowels move. And so as they worked with them, what they found out was that one of their favorite sayings constantly was no, and then it was, excuse the expression, no shit. And so the body responded to what they were constantly telling the body to do. Don't do this. They taught them to say something else. And in the process of their saying something else, the body responded to that. My friends who often say about all their ailments, they're in my age group. And, the world tells us that we're supposed to have a certain kind of life experience, that when we reach a certain place in our lives, that all of us must have the same experiences that our family had, our parents had, or our great grandparents had, or whomever. You don't have to have that. You can take back your power and choose something else. So I don't believe that I have to have arthritis at a certain age. When my mind wants to go in that direction, I take back my power and I speak something else. I am an expression of the one most high. I am every day and every way I'm getting better, better, and better. I'm grateful for the health that is manifested in my life on a daily basis. I shared with you a couple of weeks ago about the prayer that I do daily, because I want to put out into the universe, this is the day the Lord has made and I shall rejoice. And I say it in a way that my body resonates to that. I shall rejoice and be glad in it. I don't say, oh dear, let me see. I wake up, that hurts. Okay. So, well, now I'm a certain age and therefore I have to have certain experience. Wish you folks could have been with me over the weekend. I'm here in Vegas. And one of the wonderful things about those of us who appreciate music and dance is that we have, especially now, because they're opening up places now, that there are numerous places now that we can go out and dance. And so this past weekend, one of our favorite places that a place that many of us met and danced for years. And then with the COVID, it was closed. The dance floor was closed. Well, they're opening it now. And so they had one of our favorite local groups here performing. And there were so many of us and so grateful to see each other, to see those of us who have survived what folks have been going through for the past couple of years. And there was so much joy. The music that's communicating, the performers, the singers, and the music was just put everybody in a high spirit. So for an hour or two, people could remove themselves out of the other language that's been going on for the last few weeks and hear something else, something that inspired us. There you go. But we dance better than that.
I just had to dance with you there for a second.
I see. You have to come out here in Vegas sometime and dance with us.
I will.
It's be selective with the words you speak. Biblical history talks about the power of the word. The yogis of India called a whole branch of communication mantra yoga, where you say specific words over and over and over. Folks that are into a certain type of Buddhism, they know to say that over and over and over, because it's all energy, and energy is vibrating. And what are you vibrating to? Are you vibrating to the constant? Like I said, I don't like using negative and positive, but that is what you're listening to and speaking, inspiring you. Is it uplifting you? You can make that choice to do that now.
I wanted to just comment on a couple of things you just said, which I think is really important. In the beginning, you started off with the Mercury retrograde. Okay, that's something we've all
Yes.
heard forever. Okay,
Hmm. Hmm.
um, it's a term that I've heard like literally forever. And and you always hear, oh, we're in Mercury retrograde. Now, this stuff going on right now feels like if I was going to say it, okay, it
Yeah.
doesn't feel like, oh my yes, okay.
Yeah.
But we're talking about as the individual, okay. So for me, as the individual, I decided that I'm ignore it. For
Hmm.
me, I had to go,
Hmm. Hmm.
look, it puts out the intention that you're expecting negative things to come in your life.
Exactly.
We have stuff that always come anyway every day. It doesn't matter what retrograde we're in. So,
Hmm.
but the Mercury retrograde is something. Could you when is that? When
It
is
ha-
the
it happens like every 3 or 4 months.
oh really?
And okay, so the planet is constantly moving, and for example, when folks talk about the moon and different aspects of the moon, that the moon is full or the moon is new or whatever, the moon didn't move, the Earth is moving, and so consequently, we see different sides of the moon. Well, it's the same way with the planet Mercury and all the other planets that we are interacting with as we come into, and it takes a certain time. Well, with the moon, it's faster than some of these other planets because the moon, within a month, we're seeing something. We're seeing the new moon or the full moon or the half moon or whatever. But these other planets, like Mercury, it takes longer to come into contact with them or to interact with them. So first of all, everybody, everything is energy, including when we talk about astrology. Sorry, when we talk about astrology, understand that it's all about energy. One of my blessings is my guide sent me an esoteric astrologer by the name of Frank Evans. Frank did not teach me to be an astrologer, but he taught me, he wanted me to understand energy as it was expressing itself. And he says that energy can express itself one of 10 ways that in astrology is called aspects. So as a teacher, it helped me, assisted me as a teacher, that not everybody is going to express itself in the way I might as a Saturn ruled planet, Capricorn. Pisces, totally different energy than Capricorn. Gemini, totally different. So that when that energy is expressing itself, I don't have to um, limit it or be uncomfortable with it because it's expressing itself differently. It helped me to understand and communicate better and to work better with someone that was expressing in a different way. I have a friend, love her dearly, and we were just having this conversation about someone new who has come into our lives, friendship wise, and she's having some issues with him because she's a Pisces ruled by Neptune. He is a Sagittarius ruled by Jupiter. That's totally different energy there. And so the Piscean energy doesn't understand why this uh, uh, Sagittarian energy, why it's not communicating with her in the way that she wants this person to do. And I'm attempting to get her to understand it's not supposed to be that way. You embrace people for whom they are. If it works for you, it works for you. But if you're thinking romantically or getting into business or whatever with that person and you're just totally uncomfortable with it, then that's, I would just, walk away from the energy. Or you can embrace and say, time to learn, time to grow, and allow this experience to expand your your understanding, your understanding better. We also hear about Saturn return. That was when this gentleman came into my life, the astrologer. I didn't, I never heard of Saturn return. I was really, really grateful that he came in and explained it to me because up to that point, the planet Saturn. Okay, so I'm born. The sun is in Capricorn. 28, about 28 years. It's moving. It's moving, digressing. Okay, it's going in an opposite direction. Saturn is the cohesive energy of the zodiac. It's helping me to keep my life moving in a certain direction for about 28 years. And so within that 28 years, I recognized my passion was yoga. This was what I wanted to do. I wanted to achieve certain things in yoga. However, as it moved into that first Saturn return, I began to feel I didn't want to do this anymore. Every week I had a different plan. I wanted to do this, I wanted to do that, et cetera, et cetera. My husband, bless his heart, he was sitting back and going, "Oh my God, we built this business, and here this woman is wanting to change it all. She wants to do something." But Frank helped me just to take a deep breath and flow with it, because as I hit that 28th year, because you can feel it, like a couple of years before then, it's change. It's all about change. Life is meant to experience change. We have to have change in order to grow. So as that hit, and it was, like I said, it was in my. I'm acting like I know more about astrology than I do, folks. But what I'm sharing with you is what I know, is that it hit my career house, and so it was just making me indecisive. But a couple of years out of that, I was real clear. Yeah, I like teaching yoga. This works for me. So with communication, see, I believe that the fifth chakra, if it had an astrological sign, it would be Gemini, because Geminis are some of the best communicators we have in the astrological world. Geminis like to talk. Geminis enjoy engaging with folks, and are generally very intelligent people as well.
Not me. I'm talk. Never have.
Never know.
Never
I just
have.
asked him how many shows a week he does.
I have plenty of time to do all these shows I really want to do to put it out, because I think you do have to want to talk. Now, I want to go back to words are intentions, ladies and gentlemen. Words are power. Okay, words that are spoken through your throat chakra. And if you're calling yourself a dummy, if you're calling yourself stupid, if you're calling yourself an idiot, if you're saying, "Why am I doing that? I'm so ridiculous," you are creating this energy in your own brain. Okay. And this will also make you very sensitive to other people, because if they find out that you are and say it to you, it goes 1,000 times more energy in this sense. But because you've already put that energy in your brain, and what they're doing is they're feeding into what your intentions are. And so your word, which is part of why we're talking about this. And I want to go into just an essential oil of the Metronetter, which I personally have been using for 15 years. Okay. And so what it does, I'm going to give you my experience in it because I've used all our oils. What it does is it grounds your communication. You all of a sudden go, think. You are what you think about. When I talk to people, and people, you come to me, I am not going to pull no bones. Okay. Period. All right. So, see, my expression, if somebody wants to be great, you want to be a great spiritual being, then I'm going to say to you, you're as good as your worst quality. And you tell me your worst quality, and that's where we begin. See, everybody's got great qualities. Okay. But what is your worst? It could be the words you speak in your brain. Could be your worst quality. Is you talk to yourself. And this is why the beginning part of where I want to go next here is how we begin the healing of the throat, because the throat chakra, I literally consider it, it's my favorite. And so that's why I really feel a lot of people have issues with communicating. It could be that's your throat chakra. So take it away.
Well, I mean, there's some physical things you can do. We have something called a lion posture in yoga, where you just take a deep breath and you extend the tongue as far out of your mouth as you can. It also helps to heal the sore throat. And that's an interesting idea too, interesting words, a sore throat. Another word for sore is angry. A lot of times people get sore throats because they're angry. They want to say how it is they're really feeling, but they're blocking it, they're stopping it, they're holding the anger here. So I'm not advising you to, you know, um, let, say something bad. Uh, I don't to speak in anger to someone. That's not the best thing, but it is important for you to release that blocked energy or that anger, so you can walk away and just and work at what it is. Why have you given up your power to this person? What is it or who is it that they need to be in order for you to feel that you're happy again, and take back your power, because they only have what you're willing to give. Um, I know, I think I remember sharing with you that when I've been involved in relationships that come to an end, and there was anger or hurt, I knew that one of the first things I had to do was to release that anger, to release that hurt, because the only person that this would harm would be me. That it would heal me, to make whole again, to heal me, in order to release whatever it was that I wanted from that person and he or she was unable to give to me. The other thing is that there's something we have, something we call sound vibrations in yoga, where it's rooted in the vowel system, where you would just take a breath, and like the first one, E, that works everything in the head, including the pineal gland. Ah, which is the throat chakra. Okay. A, all of that is working with the lungs and the heart chakra. Ooh, we're getting down to the lower chakras. Om, and this ties it all in together. So E, A, A, U, O. You can say those. But most importantly, learn to speak what you want to experience. And if it's anger, not a good thing, because that's only going to harm you. Speak from a higher understanding. Say, when you wake up in the morning, say something in a positive way, like I've shared with you. As I agree with Michael wholeheartedly, stop putting yourself down about, what you feel, what you've been taught is wrong with you. Praise yourself. You are the infinite made definite. You are an expression of the one most high. Express like the one most high. I am loving. I am caring. I am joyous. If you're having issues with your body, speak to that part of your body. I remember when I was learning this, I had a student come up to me, and she was saying she was having issues with her elbow. And she was going on. She said, I don't know. I've put a ointment. I've gone to a chiropractor. I've gone this. I've gone that. And then finally, I was able to say to her, I said, elbow represents aggressive acts. And for there to be, so I'm guessing that there's some type of something you're participating in, that you're being forced to participate in, that you feel that you're having literally to elbow your way into this situation. Her eyes got really big, and she said, well, I'm going to tell you something. I was a teacher for many years. I've just recently retired. I've gotten into another profession. And I say daily, I said, I feel like I'm having to elbow my way through this situation. Speak what you want to experience. If you want the right and perfect employment, say that. Except, I am so grateful that the right and perfect job is opening up for me. Parking spaces. Oh my God, I'll never get a parking space. I think I shared my students in that had to go into Westwood. I would say, instead of saying all the reasons why you're not going to be able to get a parking space, it just requires just as much effort and energy to claim the parking space. There's the right and perfect parking. My friends, I think, they think they have this witch or something as a friend, which I'm not. However, because I'm able to manifest these parking spaces, why isn't there a parking space for me? Why not? Why is there one for that person and not one for me? What makes them able to receive this and I'm not? And it's generally because they believe that they can have this. They're speaking it forward. Of course, there's a parking space waiting for them. You're having issues with money. Oh my God, I'm never gonna, and the world is, and the gas and this and that, and goes on and on and on. Speak what you want to experience. That will heal that. Whenever I have any kind of health issue, I have to be honest with you. First thing I do is ask, what did I eat? Okay. Because, food is very powerful. But then I go to, what am I saying? How am I feeling? What's going on here? Am I using words that are taking away my power instead of empowering me?
You are what you think about, and you are what you speak about.
True.
They both
True.
go hand in hand. About the parking space, and I lived in Westwood for years.
So yeah.
I lived in Westwood, so I just
Okay.
walked,
Yeah.
which is
You
cool.
walked. You didn't have to. Okay.
Right. But again, I used
Okay.
to go to, I lived in Santa Monica for years also, but,
Mm.
it's always about you go to Century City, you go downtown, you got
Well,
finding parking in LA is
right.
again, it is about your intention. Now,
Well, let me ask you this. You never saw the Harriman Studio of Yoga up on the hill on Little Santa Monica Boulevard? We were there from 74 to 89. And there were big letters, YOGA, in the window there.
where was it exactly?
It was between Beverly Glen and Overland on Little Santa Monica Boulevard. You know how the streets split? The big Santa Monica is below, and that's where the Mormon temple is.
Okay.
And we were on the raised part where the railroad tracks used to be. And so we were kind of like right there in the middle of the block between Beverly Glen and Overland.
Well, if I saw it, I probably remember because believe me, I was all around Los Angeles.
Okay.
Um, yeah, one of the questions. This is a little bit off topic,
Mm-hmm.
but you did bring up a point about um, ending a relationship. Het-Heru. Okay, now
Mm-hmm.
I study everything, and one of the things that I really study is how relationships between men and women, and in particular, the young people. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and there's this real competition going on here I'm seeing, but here's what I'm seeing that's really is what's happening is people are ending relationships and they don't know how to go on, hetero.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
How do you end? I'm asking your opinion on it as a woman. And
Mm-hmm.
because really this is where I see as I study this is where women are stuck. When they end a
Okay.
relationship, they may end it and they shouldn't have ended, or the person, ended it. And
Mm-hmm.
so the issue is always taking the next that hurt right into your next relationship.
Big mistake.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Any
Yeah.
suggestions on this for women as you when your relationships ends and how to
Mm-hmm.
not make the next guy pay for it?
Okay. That's
Okay.
an excellent question. In our society, we're taught um, wrong things about how men are supposed to be. Okay, we're taught about the knight in shining armor and Cinderella and all that other stuff. And so consequently, we don't really understand men. Men don't always understand us. I believe, we often expect too much from them than what they are actually able to give us. Don't misunderstand. I mean, if we are understanding them from a female perspective, and as a female, we expect them to act the same way we would, then it's not going to work for us because we're different. We're just different beings. However, this is how I feel. I truly believe that we are the higher being in the two sexes for several reasons. One is we're the ones that carry the children. I know the man helps plant the seed, but we're the ones that carry the baby. We have that umbilical and heart connection. We're the ones, a woman's body, gentlemen, is never the same after she's had this baby. Okay. She has made an incredible sacrifice carrying this child, conceiving, carrying this child. Then once the baby and what she goes through in order to deliver the baby, it's rare for a woman to not experience pain after she's given birth to this, while she's giving birth to this child. Then when the baby is out and there's that umbilical connection that is there for the rest of their lives. Now, many men, not all men, but many men feel more comfortable in going off somewhere and leaving the children with the mother. Please, I'm not saying all men do this, but okay, men seem to be more comfortable with that. So here, this connection that this woman has for this child or children that she's given birth to is there for the rest of her life. We're different. We're different than men. That's the way it's supposed to be. There's no saying, about the man is the dragon slayer and he brings a dragon home for mama to prepare. When a relationship, and not all relationships, society tells us, and we're in a different time too, that all relationships are they're only successful if they last forever and ever and ever. That is not true. People come into our lives for a certain period of time. It may be, for 50, 60 years, or it may not be. They come in to share something with us. And then if it's time for that it's been completed, then there may be separation, but maintain the lesson. So you don't have to repeat it again. This is what Michael's asking about. So you don't have to look for somebody to do the same lesson again. Learn the lesson. And one of the major lessons I've learned is to accept this person for whom he is. Now, and at the same time, that person has to respect me because I'm going to respect him. And if there's no respect, then there's no relationship, at least not in my life, because especially at this place in my life, I've come to love and appreciate and know who I am. So if there isn't a mutual respect for one another, and you're not going to change him. Lord knows I've tried. You're not going to change him. However, if he wants to change and he has the opportunity, we don't come down because they're more the earth beings. We are in the higher realm for that very reason. What I just said, we carry and nurture and bring forth the children. If this person in your life wants to rise, he will do that. Of course, in today's world, everybody, just to be fair, he or she will do that. Okay. And if, back to this Helen Banks, I remember her telling us about the different aspects of how the mind works. So I won't say too much about it because we'll be talking about that next week with the sixth chakra. There is something that is given to a woman through sex that if your partner isn't operating from a higher respectful consciousness, then that's going to have the effect of bringing you down. So like I said, I'll talk more about that. Cliffhanger, I'll talk more about that. But it's important if this person in your life wants to embrace more and more of his divinity, and he's willing to make an effort to do that, he's not going to do it by trying to bring you down, or anybody to bring you down to their level because they're more comfortable with that. And don't make the mistake, because I've done this before, when I've worked hard to develop myself spiritually, I meet someone who comes into my life who's not making the same effort. And so in order to make it more harmonious in the relationship, I find myself coming down to his level. And I've learned, I was afraid I was going to do that. My spirit is saying, am I speaking truth to power here? Anyways, so the idea is we embrace people for whom they are. If they're not the right person for us, then we let go and let God. Okay, we bless them and release them, and then we're healed from that. But if we're holding on and still wishing them to be somebody else, it's not going to work. It just doesn't work.
Don't you worry, I'm riding in on my white horse. Our romance is my only course. Your knight in shining armor
Oh yeah,
is
right.
here.
Uh-huh.
I wrote
Yeah.
that, by the way.
Did you really? What an
Yeah,
illusion.
yes,
What a fantasy.
yes.
And you know what? And it's they you guys, y'all get some of that too, you know. This is she's gonna be like Beyonce or whomever, you know, and she is who she is. And especially after she has starts having these children, doesn't mean she has to fall apart. You know, we need to take care of ourselves. It's very important, but we do it for ourselves, not for them. We do it for ourselves.
I think that what all of us here, okay, experience, is our greatest teacher. Um,
It
when
is.
you see that, look, there's long-term relationships. Sometimes a relationship will kill you in 90 days. Now, we had a saying back in LA, if you go out
Hmm.
with somebody, you say, I
Hmm.
met this good girl. I met this guy. Oh, yeah? Tell me in 30
Yeah,
days.
sure.
30 days.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
Hmm.
you'll be
Hmm.
2 weeks. How we doing?
Yeah.
Make it. Okay.
Yeah.
You know, um, I think that for most everyone here, and this is what we're talking about, the throat chakra. The throat
Hmm.
chakra, most of these things, what Het-Heru's been talking about is lack of communication.
Hmm.
It really is. And I think that where people go wrong here right now is your expectations should be to be friends, to be friends at first. People jump in the
I
sack
agree.
too
Yeah.
quick. Okay,
Yeah.
now I know people can't help but do it, but again,
Yeah, you can.
yes, you
Yeah,
can.
you can.
Y- yes, you
You
can.
can. Yeah,
Okay.
but it's more difficult if you're out and you're drinking a lot. I've already told you, if you drink, you drink. But if you're putting removing some of your restraints or your just basic common sense, then you're going to do things that you might regret the next day. So, you know, like I said, I go out a lot because I love to dance. I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't do drugs. My choice. However, it gives me an opportunity to see other people who are doing it, and they're really not their divine self is not coming forth. It's more animal like, and because the alcohol has as I said, remove some of the restraints that they might be using, or whatever their reasons, or they're just using that uh, the alcohol to feel what they think is happy, or all that. But none of those outside things brings that to us. We have to create that within our own lives. um the other thing too is saying things to hurt other people through the power of communication because you think it's going to make you feel better. It works against you because there's energy works this way. You send energy out, it touches that person um, one time, it comes back to you and touches you, hits you, it goes out again. It says it takes 10 times for that energy to dissipate. So it goes out again, and this time it doesn't touch the person, but it comes back and it hits you again. And that continues until finally that 10th time the energy is gone. But you've embraced that negativity 10 times. So it's advantageous for you to not do that. It doesn't mean you have to be a, a person's, what do they call, stool or whatever. You don't necessarily, well, I don't let people, I would rather walk away and just stay unless there's something I have to say. But I work more and more and more about not giving up my power. And when I'm expecting somebody to say things a certain way or treat me a certain way and they don't know how to do that, they're not the persons that are supposed to be in my life. So I bless them and I release them.
I want to bring up a point here, ladies and gentlemen, about the uh, what the essential oil of the matronetta does. Okay.
Mhm.
Um, okay. So when with that communication, it opens up your throat chakra. All right, so when your throat chakra is open, all right,
Mhm.
it allows you to begin literally seeing your words. Okay.
You mean as in manifestation?
Yeah. So it's
Mhm.
like, okay, there is the self-defense mechanism where everyone just immediately responds.
Mhm.
What people don't take the time is to take that extra moment to think before you speak.
Mhm.
You
True.
see, your mind and your with the throat chakra open, it still is connected to your spirit and is allowing you to live in the moment. And that moment lasts much longer than you think. Okay, that hesitation to think before you speak will save you a lot of trouble. If
Yeah.
you think, even saying to the person, give me a second, I'm just taking in what you just said. Okay, there's
Mhm.
nothing wrong with that. I'm going to respond. Just give me a second. I don't want to blurt out something. I want to think about what you just said. Okay. I think that when you understand that, it also will make you a much better listener. Okay.
Yeah.
I am a professional listener.
Mhm.
When I'm talking to someone, I am fully engaged to them and every word that they are speaking so that I can make the proper response and also so that I get the same thing in return.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
And it's about, and so I know, go to Het-Heru.com and check out her essential oils. We're going to be talking about them more. I'm planning on talking about them forever because I do believe that her essential oils are life changing. And I mean that. I mean that. I didn't realize how important smell is. Smell is.
You say
And
olfactory nerve connected to memory.
yes.
Mhm.
So when I use that, you know, especially I would I will use it when I get stressed. Not say I get stressed all the time or anything,
Right.
but I will use that to
Mhm.
makes you take a breath. Maybe it's just a breath that it takes to calm you down.
And
Okay.
others around you who are smelling it as well. They're
Right.
smelling it. I wanted to share, if we have a moment here, about an experience I had about the power of the fifth chakra. Back in the 70s and 80s, I taught yoga at the Sai Baba Center in Hollywood, and I was a devotee of Satya Sai Baba. And one of the things that we would do is to sing the Indian devotional songs, which are known as bhajans. And so the way the leader would sing one line in the language, either Sanskrit or Telugu, which was the language that Sai Baba, he spoke both languages. And so one line would be sung, and then the rest of the folks would sing that same line afterwards, et cetera, et cetera. In those years, Dick and Janet Bach operated the Sai Baba Center, and they decided to go to India. And so the responsibility of this was put in the hands of a couple of the devotees. And I was kind of the new kid on the block there, but I was, it was part of our spiritual practice and our what they call satsang, which was folks coming together and singing these devotional songs and whatever. Well, this couple decided that they too were ready to go to India. So they just turned to me and said, okay, now it's in your responsibility. How, not only mine, there were three gentlemen that were to do the satsang, the bhajans with me. Two were Indian and one born in the States here, not Indian. On Thursday nights, it was kind of like a family gathering. Friday nights, We talked about who Sai Baba was. We showed a film, etc., etc. So this particular Friday night, I'm waiting for the three guys to come in and assist me in leading these bhajans. And these were people who were in the had come were people, as I said, they were not. There were some family members, some Sai Baba devotees, but a lot of folks that were learning about Baba for the first time. So I'm waiting for them to come. They're running late, and finally it was obvious. No, you need to go on and kick this in action here. So I remember just being still and just saying, because Baba's in India, I'm in Hollywood, and I said, okay, Baba, apparently you want me to do this by myself, but you're going to have to help me. So I began to lead the bhajan, and then I went into the second bhajan, and I'm thinking, God, I'm sounding really good. I'm impressed with myself. There was enough ego there for me to take that journey. Around about the third bhajan, the three guys all come in at the same time. And so one of them automatically took over, for the next bhajan. Well, while that was taking place, one of the Indian gentlemen asked me, so while you were singing the bhajan, were you playing one of the tapes of Baba? Were you playing the tape? And, my heightened level of ego there, because I was doing so well, I thought he was asking, did somebody tape you because this sounded so good? Well, apparently what actually took place was they were no longer hearing me. They were actually hearing Sai Baba coming through me and singing the bhajan. That's the power of the fifth chakra, that connection to the higher being, to the higher mind, the higher power, that if we allow ourselves, it will come through and assist us in any way and every way possible if we learn to just trust and have faith and speak the word, speak the truth.
That's great. That's great.
Great.
Listen, we with some more time, I have a question that's been put up here. A question for you: what does your guides have you use for a base oil for the essential oil? Is it the same? Is the base the same or different for each oil?
No base oil. I know that blows everybody's mind. No base oil. It's all the essential oils. They've just told me which specific ones to use and how much of each one. When I was first presenting the Nechaim sacred oils, and I would do shows, I would be out at the convention center, whatever. I always got that question, understandably, or I would be asked, are these organic? And my vendors have told me these are organic, but I have to be honest with you. The oils are coming from different countries. They're coming from India. They're coming from Egypt. So I can only trust that my vendors are telling me truthfully. But what I do know, without a doubt, is that they are sacred, because I know what I've had to go through in order to be a vehicle for these sacred oils to come through and be presented to you. So no base. I have a body oil that I use, olive oil and avocado oil, et cetera, but not with the roll-ons, not with the sacred oils.
See, I think of bass. I think of a bass guitar and a song. So Tracy makes essential oils herself too. Different. She's an herbologist, and she's really, really, really talented also here. So we're closing in here. I want to give you an opportunity to give some final thoughts here with the throat chakra, and maybe a little preview on what we're going to be talking about next week.
Okay. Well, you stop yourself when you find yourself in the middle of a conversation or just saying words that is demeaning your divinity. Okay. You are the infinite made definite. This is your time. This is our time. And we need it now more than ever. All this stuff that's going on right now, speak on a higher level. Say, instead of, oh my God, what's going to happen? If this happens, that happens. Speak what you want to take place. This is all coming together peacefully. I trust the creator of the universe. I know that I'm going to be all right. Everybody's going to be all right. When you're concerned about your family, instead of what you're fearful what might happen to them, speak what you want for them. my real quickly, I remember my first husband used to, he didn't sleep well, and he would get up in the middle of the night and go out and walk, take a walk. And I remember I would awaken, I think, I would be all anxious about it. And then I said, you know what? The same power that protects him in the daytime is protecting him at night. And I was able to let go, and I would say, and let God.
Well, thank you so much for this time. Now
My
we're going to be
pleasure.
talking about the sixth chakra and what
The
you
third eye, intuition,
ah
psychic stuff, psychic stuff. So,
okay, that's great.
yeah.
Well, thank you so much for being on here.
Thank
We
you, Michael.
really appreciate you. We're just loving this Wednesday night here, and we just want to thank you again, Het-Heru.
Love and blessings, everyone.
Got it. Bye bye. See you next
Bye.
week. Did you want to say something?
Nope.
Okay. Bye. All right, that was great. I mean, really, really good. Communication is really everything. I believe in over communicating. What would you rather, under communicate or over communicate? What would you rather do? Should you over love somebody or under love somebody? You just, but now, should you over critique somebody or kind of under critique? Now, I don't say that word, but everyone knows what it means. And for me, it's just about reviewing. Okay? When you decide, now listen, if you're listening here right now, you want to be a great spiritual being. It's inevitable. If you're right here, and I want to thank you for all the people who stayed here to the end of this show, and just let you know how much you are appreciated. Now, let's see here. Always embrace new ways to communicate. Thank you, Tracy. We're always doing that. And also, Tracy, want to know, you described me to a T as a Gemini and someone who loves to talk. I guess I do. And it's because I want to share with you. I want to share with you ways to get better. See, what is lacking here with all of us is lack of communication. And that's why we have to look at our throat as a holy place. It's a holy place. What comes out, what those intentions are, what you create. Okay? We're here to create intentions to live and to live abundantly. Now, I did a show last week. I think it's called "May You Always Have Enough." May you always have enough. So this is part of living in the moment of I'm always going to have enough. Okay? I'm going to have enough. Now you can live like that, or you can live the other way. I never have enough. I'm never going to get that parking space. I'm never going to get that dream job. I'm never going to get that relationship. Well, then if that's where you're at, you're more than likely not going to get that. But if you now speak out, oh, that door closed. Here's another one that's open. When a door closes, you have to assume another one's going to open. You got to be looking for that. Okay? So in a relationship, it doesn't work. Just know if you're a creative spirit, and that if that door closes, you close it and go find the open door, because there's going to be one there soon for you. So, thank you all again. Thanks, Het-Heru. We're going to be talking about a whole lot of different things here next week. And we're coming up on our 1 year date. And we got some good things coming next month as I go into the second year. So thank you so much for being in here. I'll be back tomorrow. And please, again, if you haven't yet, please, I really need you to do this for me. I need you to subscribe to my channel. And on Twitch. If you're on Twitch, please subscribe to the channel so they'll let you know when these shows come on. I really appreciate it. So thanks for slowing down. Now you can go back and speed up to your life again. And we'll see you next time on the Alpough Show, the Human Spirit Experiment.